So here's the twist everybody wasn't ready for. Diddy just beat the RICO case. No human trafficking conviction. No life sentence. No perp walk in front of flashing cameras. The courtroom didn't explode, and there was no huge dramatic meltdown. He walked out like it was just another Tuesday. But if you think that means he's in the clear, think again.
I think it's over.
You think it's over?
I think it's over for him as like a figure in entertainment.
But do you think it's over as him as far as like he gets a cell right next to R. Kelly?
I don't think so. I don't think he gets locked up.
He skates.
I think he skates. Or he goes to like Bali.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a move, huh?
I mean, Russell's out there.
Yeah.
Because while the headlines say not guilty, the real story is way darker. Diddy didn't walk out a free man. Nah, he's still convicted under the Mann Act, a federal law that's been wrecking lives for over 100 years. That charge alone can get you up to 20 years. And according to folks like Joe Rogan, this ain't no small-time case. Diddy didn't win. He just survived round one, and what's coming next might be worse. Let's back it up for a second. The feds came at Diddy with everything: RICO, trafficking, illegal surveillance, blackmail, assault, a full buffet of charges that had the whole industry shook. But somehow, after months of courtroom chaos, secret evidence, and sealed testimonies, he dodged the heaviest ones. On paper, that looks like a victory, but Joe Rogan ain't buying it. On his podcast, Rogan straight up said what a lot of people thinking: this doesn't mean he's innocent, it means they couldn't prove everything. And he's right, the Mann Act conviction is serious. That law goes all the way back to the early 1900s. It was designed to stop people from moving women across state lines for immoral purposes. But in today's world, it's often used when the government knows you did something wrong. They just can't prove all of it. Think about it. That's the same law they used on dudes like R. Kelly. You don't beat that and go back to yacht parties, and you beat that and end up in MDC Brooklyn. That's where Diddy is right now, locked up in one of the toughest federal detention centers in the country. And from what insiders are saying, it ain't no sweet life. Rogan pointed it out himself. MDC ain't built for superstars. It's overcrowded, dirty, violent. The food is trash. The guards don't care who you are. In fact, being famous in there makes you a target. Diddy might be a legend on the outside, but behind bars, he's just another inmate with a messed up rap sheet and a lot of enemies. Even though he's technically still waiting for sentencing, he's locked up until October. That means at least 4 more months of sitting in that cell, wondering how many people he wronged are now out here rejoicing at his downfall. And with all the dirt being dug up, he had better hope the judge ain't feeling vengeful when it's time to hand down that sentence. And here's where it gets trickier. The feds might have lost the trafficking charge, but they still got what's called relevant conduct. That means even if a jury says you're not guilty of one thing, the judge can still take that into account when deciding how long you sit. Translation: the judge can hit Diddy with the maximum on the Mann Act based on everything else that came out during the trial. All those allegations, freak-offs, hidden cameras, threats, drugging, even if the jury couldn't agree on them, the judge can still use them to justify a heavy sentence. Rogan wasn't shy about calling this a win that ain't a win. He said Diddy might have dodged the full list of charges, but his brand is ruined. His legacy is in pieces. The culture that once crowned him king, now watching him spiral from the throne. He ain't Puff Daddy no more. He's inmate Narrett Diddy 05 years 3. And honestly, that might be the least of his problems. The real damage is public perception. The lawsuits, the raids, the testimonies, it's all out there now. People don't need a conviction to believe what they've seen. In the industry, they're jumping ship. Brands are gone, deals are done. Even his own artists are staying quiet, and that silence is louder than any statement. So while Diddy might be telling himself he won in court, the truth is, he already lost. And Rogan made it clear, this ain't over, not even close. And
get the documents, like when they're trying to get the Epstein files, like the state of New York, one of the district attorneys was hiding documents that have forced them to give documents. I think there's so many powerful people that are on those lists. There's so many powerful people that went and partied, air quotes, partied. And how many of them went to the Diddy parties? Have you been paying attention to the trial?
Oh yeah,
Trials.
so let's talk about where Diddy really is right now. Not in a penthouse, Not on a yacht, but inside the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. That's MDC, one of the most feared federal holding facilities in the US. And for someone used to silk sheets and Ciroc on ice, it's hell on earth. You walk into MDC thinking your name means something. But in there, nobody cares you ran bad boy records. Nobody's impressed by Grammy plaques or your billionaire status. You're just another number. And with the charges Diddy caught, he ain't just another number. He's a target. Inmates don't forget. They see the news. They heard the freak-off rumors. They know what kind of cases come with the Mann Act. And in jail culture, that kind of charge carries heat. It don't matter how famous you are. When your paperwork shows certain words, it gets around fast. Word inside MDC is that Diddy's kept isolated, not for his safety, but because the energy around him is too dangerous. Guards know if he gets dropped into general population, it could turn into a show, and not the kind that ends with applause. Some dudes in there feel like he's being protected too much. Others just want to test him. Either way, the tension is real. And it ain't just the inmates. The guards ain't rocking with him either. They deal with real crime every day, and now they gotta babysit a celebrity? Reports say he's been getting cold shoulders from COs. No special meals, no favors, no yes sir treatment. He's being fed the same overcooked mystery meat trays as everybody else. No gourmet, no security detail, no quiet suite. That's the thing about federal lockup. It don't care who you were, it only cares what you're in for. And right now, Diddy's in for transporting women across state lines for sex. That's all they see. Not the music mogul, not the business genius, just a man accused of doing the dirtiest kind of dirt. And while he's stuck in there, the outside world keeps spinning without him. His name ain't on any festival flyers. No album drops, no bad boy events. Revolt TV distanced themselves. Endorsements dried up. Artists who once worshipped him, now ducking calls. The same rooms he used to run, he's no longer welcome. People online calling this karma. Like the walls finally caught up with him after years of silence. Joe Rogan said it himself. This is a warning to every powerful man who thought they were untouchable. And the industry is watching, treating. Not out of concern, but to make sure they don't end up next. That's the part folks aren't talking about. This ain't just about Diddy. This is about who else was in those rooms, who else partied at those mansions, who else flew private to exclusive gatherings that nobody was allowed to talk about. Now that the feds cracked Diddy, the rest of the names on them guest lists are sweating. Some say Diddy's being used as the fall guy, like the feds know there's a whole system behind him, but they're starting with the loudest target. That's why they ain't even tripping that the RICO charge didn't stick. They got what they needed, enough to send a message, enough to expose the files. And those files, still being reviewed, still being flipped, still being held like leverage. There's talk that more indictments could drop. Maybe not today, maybe not next week, but soon. The feds don't like loose ends. And Diddy's got years of tapes, names, and secrets to account for. Every phone call, every transfer, every trip. It's all in the system now. And if he wants a lighter sentence come October, best believe he's being pressed to cooperate. But will he? That's the question. Is Diddy gonna go down quiet, or is he gonna start naming names? Because if he does, this ain't the end, it's just his Act 1. So Diddy beat the trafficking charge. He ducked the RICO. But that October sentencing, that's where the real judgment hits. Because while the public sees not guilty in headlines, the judge sees everything that was said in court. All the testimonies, all the evidence, all the allegations that weren't proven beyond reasonable doubt, but were still heard. That's where relevant conduct comes in. And if you don't know, relevant conduct is that wild part of federal law where you can get sentenced for stuff you weren't even convicted of. Sound crazy? Welcome to the system. Basically, the judge doesn't need the jury to say guilty on every count. If the judge believes, based on the evidence, that you did something dirty, even if the jury couldn't agree, they can still factor that in and hit you with extra years. And that's what Diddy's facing in October. Legal experts already saying the prosecutor's gonna come in strong with everything they couldn't land in court. They'll present the footage, the testimonies, the travel logs, the details from other lawsuits. They'll say, look, Your Honor, even though the jury couldn't convict on trafficking, here's 500 reasons why he still deserves the maximum sentence under the Mann Act. And that sentence? Up to 20 years. Even if he gets half that, we're talking about a man in his 50s doing a long stretch in federal prison, not just county jail. No phones, no business meetings, no parties, just steel bars and time to think. That's not just a sentence, that's a collapse. Some are saying he might try to cooperate, offer names, flip on others to shave time off. But that move comes with consequences too, in the streets and in the industry. Once you start snitching, that respect, it's gone for good. But does he still have respect to lose? 'Cause let's be real, this ain't the Diddy of 1998. He ain't the king of the summer anymore. He's not the mogul everybody's chasing for a verse, a label deal, or a VIP invite. He's radioactive now. Even people that used to shout, take that, every summer, they're keeping far away. He already lost Revolt TV. That was his last big independent move, a media empire made to give black voices a platform. But once the lawsuits hit, Revolt started separating fast. Their statements got colder. Their branding shifted. Investors got shook. And now, it's like Diddy never even built it. Same with partnerships. Liquor brands backed off. Clothing lines stopped tagging him. Ciroc ain't shouting him out no more. His name went silent. And in a brand-driven era, silence is death. That's why this October sentence ain't just about how much time he'll serve. It's about whether he's done for good, whether there's even a comeback waiting for him on the other side. And honestly, the odds ain't in his favor. 'Cause here's what else people forget. The Mann Act comes with lifetime registration as a sex offender. That label don't go away. You come home with that jacket on and every door's closed. Every opportunity gets smaller. You can't tour, can't host, can't even move through certain cities without a red flag. And Diddy's got too many eyes on him to hide. The moment he steps out, reporters, cameras, activists, the world's gonna be watching everything he does. So what's the play? He could try to appeal the conviction, sure, but appeals take years. And while that drags out, he's still locked up. Still living in MDC, still losing money, time, and relevance by the hour. And if he appeals and loses again, that might add fuel to the fire and push the judge to go even harder. That's the chessboard Diddy's trapped on now. Every move comes with heat, every option is risky, and everybody he once controlled, labels, artists, lawyers, even bodyguards, is now flipping on him one by one. So when he walks into that courtroom in October, he ain't walking in as a mogul. He's walking in as a man with nothing left to bluff. So while Diddy sits in MDC Brooklyn, waiting on that October judgment day, the world outside ain't waiting for no gavel to drop. The public already made up their mind. And the verdict? Diddy's cooked. Social media ain't been kind. You got old fans disowning him. Celebs low-key liking shady tweets. Former artists, the ones who used to call him Big Bro, going ghost or speaking out. Even folks in the media who used to tread carefully around his name are letting it fly now. No more allegedly. They calling him what they believe he is. And Joe Rogan? He went in. On his podcast, Rogan said this case shows how justice doesn't always look like a Hollywood ending. It ain't about whether the prosecution missed a charge or the jury got confused. It's about what the world saw. And what they saw, a man who had too much power for too long and finally ran out of time. Rogan said something wild but true. Diddy might have beat the law, but he lost the people. And that's deeper than the sentence. Because once the people stop believing in you, once they stop rooting for you, you're finished. Doesn't matter how much money you stack, doesn't matter how long you last in court. When the public starts turning your name into a punchline, your legacy ain't just damaged, it's erased. But this ain't just about Diddy anymore. It's about who else was in those rooms, who else got away with things just because they were rich, connected, and protected. This case put a target on Hollywood's secret culture, on the music industry's dark corners. And now people are asking, if Diddy went down, who's next? You got names like Jay-Z, Steve Harvey, Ellen, Cuba Gooding Jr., and even Prince Harry being whispered about online. Some are just rumors. Some are based on sightings, connections, or wild Reddit threads. But here's what matters. The energy shifted. Now the people don't trust anyone. The blind loyalty? Gone. Every celeb is under a microscope. Every old interview is being replayed. Every party, every guest list, every mansion in the hills invite. Now seen in a different light. The streets got the internet, and the internet don't forget. And that's why Rogan said this might be bigger than Epstein, because Diddy wasn't just moving quietly in the shadows. He was mainstream famous. Award shows, commercials, talk shows. He ran a whole media network. He was the party. And now that it all collapsed, it makes people question everyone. Who knew what? Who helped cover it up? Who's next in line for that courtroom heat? And the scariest part for the industry? The feds are still moving. The conviction might have been on one count, but that trial opened the door. Surveillance got taken, emails got subpoenaed, flight logs, witness lists, bank records, all in the system now. And if Diddy don't flip, the government's gonna keep digging until they find the next big fish. This ain't over, it's chapter 1. So what happens now? Diddy sits, waits, hopes the judge don't max him out in October. But even if he walks out in a few years, what's waiting for him? Nothing. No tour, no brand, no welcome back parade. Just a stain of everything that came out. And the whispers that'll follow him forever. The industry? They're gonna try to reset, clean up quietly. Some folks will fade away. Others will try to rebrand. But the people got the power now. And once you lose their trust, you never get it back. So yeah, Diddy dodged the big charges, but make no mistake, he still lost. And if Joe Rogan's right, this ain't just one man falling. This is a warning shot for everyone who thought they were too big to fail.